Wormwood has inspired generations of poets and writers. Yet it is far more than a plant of the steppe. It has become a symbol of Kazakhstan's vast open plains, stirring Kazakhs a deep longing for their homeland. Its distinctive fragrance carries the breath of the steppe, memories of childhood and a profound sense of Kazakh identity. Deeply woven into the history of the Great Steppe, Wormwood reflects the traditions, way of life and worldview of generations. It is the fragrance of the steppe and a precious gift of nature cherished by Kazakhs for centuries. There are more than 500 species of wormwood found around the world. Of those, about 250 grow across Central Asia and Western China. Kazakhstan alone is home to around 80 different species. You can find wormwood almost anywhere. In fact, just before you arrived, we stepped outside and collected these samples. Even here, within the grounds of our university, you can easily find 3 or 4 different species. Wormwood has always been one of the plants most respected and deeply valued by the Kazakh people. Kazakhstan is a land of remarkable natural wealth. Beyond its rich mineral resources, it is also renowned for its extraordinary diversity of medicinal plants, many of which have long been valued for their healing properties.
Kazakhstan'ın jabay florasında
Kazakhstan's wild flora includes more than 6,000 plant species. This is an immense natural resource and one of our country's greatest treasures. Among them, 667 species are endemic, meaning they are found only here or are extremely rare.
667'si ол endemikалық, сирек кездесетін өсімдіктер. Бұл өсімдіктер
These plants are under special protection and safeguarded by law. Until recently, many of these 667 endemic species have never undergone comprehensive chemical or pharmacological research.
Химиялық, фармакологиялық зерттеулерден өтпеген. Сол себептен біздің мақсатымыз осы
Our goal is to isolate their biologically active compounds, develop pharmaceutical substances from them, and continue studying their potential. At the Phytochemistry Research and Production Center, more than 500 species of plants from Kazakhstan's wild flora have now undergone extensive chemical, pharmacological, and biotechnological studies. As a result, biologically active compounds have already been successfully isolated from a number of these species. From the dense forests of the Altai to the vast semi-deserts of Mangistau, every region of Kazakhstan is home to medicinal plants that benefit human health. Each has its own unique properties. Among them, wormwood holds a special place. For the Kazakh people, it is a sacred plant and a traditional remedy believed to help treat many ailments.
Сол өсімдіктердің түрлеріне біз осы күндері арнайы зерттеулер жүргізіп жатырмыз.
We are currently conducting dedicated research on these plant species. Our botanical expeditions travel across Kazakhstan's floristic regions to study rare endemic plants in their natural habitats. We isolate their biologically active compounds and examine their structure, composition, and molecular properties.
Биологиялық белсенді заттарды бөліп алып, олардың құрылысын, құрамын, молекуласының құрамын, құрылысын зерттеп, соны анықтап,
This requires extensive scientific research. Once these molecules are identified, we develop pharmaceutical substances from them and carry out pharmacological studies, followed by preclinical and clinical trials. To date, we have already completed research on a number of these newly developed substances.
Bir қатар жаңағы алынған субстанцияларды біз зерттеулерден өткіздік бұл күндері.
Wormwood is a perennial of the daisy family, adapted to deserts and semi-deserts and highly resistant to drought and extreme heat. Depending on the species, it grows from 10 to 60 centimeters, with some reaching up to 2 meters.
Енді біздің негізгі зерттеуіміз
Our research focuses primarily on this species, Artemisia vulgaris, commonly known in English as mugwort. In Kazakh, it is called karajusan, literally black wormwood. The name refers to the way its stems change color. While the plant is young, they are green, as you can see here. As it matures, they gradually turn brown, becoming almost black by autumn. This is another species, Artemisia absinthium, commonly known as common wormwood. In Kazakh, it is called yermen, or bitter wormwood. Kazakhs have long used it in traditional medicine. Many wormwood species flower between July and September before setting seed. Kazakhstan is home to a number of rare and endemic Artemisia species. Many have been used in traditional medicine for centuries and continue to be studied for their medicinal properties. This is sweet wormwood, a well-known species of Artemisia. Its scientific name is Artemisia annua. Chinese scientist Tu Yuyu studied this plant. Her research team isolated a compound that proved highly effective against malaria. The discovery has helped save millions of lives, particularly in Africa. Tu Yuyu shared the 2015 Nobel Prize for this achievement. Artemisia annua is also found in Kazakhstan. Another species we are currently studying is Artemisia glauca. I do not know its Kazakh name. We did not find it here, but in Kazakhstan it occurs mainly in Burabay area. According to legend, Sultan Baybars, the ruler of Egypt, was sold into slavery as a boy. In time, he rose through the ranks to become a military commander and eventually a sultan. But he could no longer remember the land where he was born. One day, while crossing the Egyptian desert, he noticed a clump of wormwood. He picked it, breathed in its fragrance, and was instantly reminded of his native Sararka. It is said that this is where the saying "wormwood carries the scent of home" comes from. Today, the unique qualities of this plant are attracting the attention of scientists. Artemisia vulgaris, known locally as jusan or kara yermen, has long been used in traditional medicine. Such uses are now studied within the field of ethnopharmacology. We wanted to investigate its effects scientifically. Our initial research focused on its potential effects in epilepsy. The results suggested that the plant extract may help protect neurons in the brain. This led us to ask whether it might also have anti-cancer properties. We selected Artemisia vulgaris and tested its extract on cancer cells, where it showed promising activity. Based on these findings, we secured a 3-year research grant from the Ministry of Science and Higher Education. We are now investigating the mechanisms by which this plant affects malignant brain tumor cells. For centuries, the Kazakh people have known the remarkable qualities of wormwood, the fragrant symbol of the steppe. Traditional healers regarded it as nature's own medicine. Its decoctions and infusions were used to strengthen the body, reduce inflammation, improve digestion, relieve bloating, eliminate intestinal parasites, and treat skin infections. Today, scientists continue to explore the plant's medicinal properties.
Қазір фитохимия ғылыми өндірістік орталығының
Today, the Karaganda pharmaceutical plant, established on the basis of the Phytochemistry Research and Production Center, manufactures 72 original medicines. These include Arglabin, an anti-cancer drug, salsocolin, which has hepatoprotective properties, and sausalin, used to treat parasitic infections. Along with several other original medicines, these drugs are now supplied to hospitals and pharmacies. To secure a stable supply of raw materials for the pharmaceutical industry, 82 medicinal plant species collected in the Karatau, Altai, Alatau, and Karkarali areas have been successfully introduced at the Karaganda Botanical Gardens. One example is smooth wormwood. Of the 42 forms studied, 6 were selected as suitable for pharmaceutical production and are now cultivated for this purpose.
Атап айтуымыз керек, Arglabin дәрісі ресми тіркеліп, бұл күндері
It is worth noting that Arglabin has been officially registered and patented in 11 countries, including the United States, China, Germany, and Japan. It has also been registered as a medicine in 6 countries and is now being supplied there. It is used extensively in clinical practice, particularly for the treatment of breast and liver cancer.
Әсіресе мынау омыраудың қатерлісігі және бауырдың қатерлісігі соған өте көлемді түрде қолданып жатыр клиникада.
Arglabin, produced in Kazakhstan, has been used in MD Anderson Cancer Center in the United States, at Professor Schiller's clinic in Germany, and in a number of clinics in China, where it continues to show positive results.
Мынау Қытайдың бір қатар клиникаларында пайдаланып, бұл күндері өзінің пайдасын беріп жатыр.
To date, nearly 4,000 cancer patients have been treated with this medicine, bringing significant benefits to public health. China's artemisinin, derived from wormwood, and Kazakhstan's Arglabin, developed from an endemic species of wormwood, have both successfully completed the full testing procedures required by the World Health Organization. Both medicines have now been officially registered and formally recognized. Arglabin, recognized internationally, is not the only achievement of Kazakhstan's scientists and pharmaceutical researchers. Today, the plant continues to produce dozens of medicines made from natural plant-based raw materials. Preserving their medicinal properties while making them convenient for patients to take is one of the key priorities of modern pharmaceutical production. Specialists explain how these technologies are applied in practice.
На базе Карагандинского фармацевтического завода мы производим различные препараты.
At the pharmaceutical plant, we manufacture a range of medicines. These include Exifit, an anabolic adaptogenic drug, Soskalin, an anti-parasitic medicine, Sausalin, Arglabin, an immunomodulator, and Aterolit, an anti-hyperlipidemic drug. These medicines are produced in different dosage forms, including tablets and capsules. For example, Sausalin has a naturally bitter taste, so we coat the tablets with a film coating. This masks the bitterness and gives them a sweeter taste, making them easier for patients to take.
Имеющий яркий цвет, а также вместо горького вкуса они обладают сладким привкусом.
Meanwhile, a team led by neuroscientist Dr. Tursojan Tokay is investigating whether wormwood root can help treat epilepsy. In laboratory studies, researchers administer an extract from the plant's root to animal models, monitor changes in the brain, and study its ability to suppress epileptic seizures. It actually started quite unexpectedly. Whenever we study medicinal plants, we first grow cells in the lab, right here behind us, and test the plant's toxicity. We need to find out how toxic it is to the cells, what dosage is safe, and at what point it becomes harmful to health. That's always our first step. We can't simply give a plant extract directly to animals, whether mice or others, let alone people, because every plant has some level of toxicity. If the concentration or dosage is too high, any medicinal plant can become poisonous. While carrying out those tests, we noticed that this plant was able to kill cancer cells. That led us in a new direction. Dr. Arglabin from my research group prepared a proposal to study its effect on brain cancer. The project received funding from the ministry, and that research is now continuing. So to put it briefly, Artemisia vulgaris, or common mugwort, has shown two important properties. First, its root appears to have neuroprotective effects and may help against epilepsy. Second, it has shown promising anti-cancer activity.
Professor Tursunjan
Tokay invited me to join his team while I was in Portugal in 2023. I agreed straight away and moved to Astana, Kazakhstan, in August that year. I joined his research group and started working here. It'll soon be 3 years. I've been truly impressed by Kazakhstan, by Astana, and by Nazarbayev University. The research here is carried out at the highest international level. We don't have to catch up with the world. We are already part of world-class science. To investigate the potential of common mugwort root extract as a treatment for epilepsy, the researchers first developed an epilepsy model in mice. They then began studying changes in the animal's brains, brain cells, and behavior. During an epileptic seizure, thousands of brain cells can die. The initial animal trials produced encouraging results, and the team has now moved on to the next stage of the research. If the findings continue to be positive, the study will be published in a scientific journal. We've now reached the stage where we've obtained our first scientific results. Once that model was established, we administered the root extract at different concentrations to determine which dose produces the best effect. We've now identified the most effective dosage, completed that phase of the study, and published the results in a scientific paper. The next task facing the researchers is to identify the exact active compound in the mugwort root extract that is directly responsible for its anti-epileptic effect. However, delivering a therapeutic substance to brain cells with complete efficiency is far from easy. Both the human and animal brain are protected by a natural barrier that shields it from outside influences. As a result, many biologically active compounds are simply unable to pass through it. To overcome this obstacle, the Kazakh research team has turned to modern nanotechnology. The reason we're doing this is that we're developing nanoparticles from mugwort extract. This is one of the most promising approaches today. Our goal is to increase the amount of the compound that reaches the brain and, in turn, improve the therapeutic effect. At the same time, we're working towards future clinical applications so that this treatment can eventually be used for people with epilepsy.
Про полынь я, конечно, знаю с давних времен, с юности. Ну, естественно, мы изучали полынь, когда я был
I've known about mugwort for a long time, ever since I was young. Of course, we studied it when I was a student at St. Petersburg State University in Russia. But here, my main interest has been in conducting behavioral studies using laboratory mice. That's because our project is primarily focused on epilepsy and the mechanisms behind it. We use mugwort as a potential therapeutic approach to help reduce seizures in the animals. And ultimately, we hope it can one day be applied in human treatment as well. As a Kazakh saying goes, a land without wormwood is no true land. Few plants hold as special a place in Kazakh culture as wormwood. Found in many parts of the world, Artemisia species have long been used both as livestock forage and in traditional medicine. But what distinguishes the species growing in Kazakhstan from those found elsewhere, and what unique properties might they possess? Kazakhstan is home to around 80 species of Artemisia, giving the country remarkable botanical diversity. Another important factor may be the long summer daylight hours. At this time of year, it remains light from around 3 in the morning until nearly 10 at night, so plants receive prolonged exposure to sunlight. Because light influences plant metabolism, these conditions may affect the production and accumulation of bioactive compounds in Artemisia and other medicinal plants. Our research will not stop with Artemisia vulgaris. We're gradually expanding our work to other Artemisia species, as well as to other medicinal plants. We are already investigating the effects of Syrian rue extracts on brain function and studying extracts from black and white mustard. New projects are examining their potential effects on cognitive function and on biological processes associated with dementia. The richness and strength of Kazakhstan's native flora make it one of the country's most valuable natural resources. But these gifts of nature cannot be harvested without limits. Scientists continuously monitor wild plant populations to ensure they are both protected and used sustainably. Maintaining that balance is essential. While some rare wormwood species are protected by law in Kazakhstan, others have long been used in everyday life and across a range of industries. In Kazakhstan, only one wormwood species is red-listed. It's Artemisia sina. The remaining species are considered renewable natural resources, so they can be harvested by only within established limits. Artemisia is also widely used in cosmetics, perfumery, and food production. Tarragon, familiar as both a culinary herb and the flavoring used in the popular soft drink tarkun, is itself a species of Artemisia. It's widely used as a seasoning. Researchers have found that Artemisia contains essential oils, flavonoids, organic acids, phytoncides, and other bioactive compounds. That's why its potential application in medicine, pharmacology, and cosmetology are now being actively explored.
Фитохимия ғылыми өндірістік орталығының лабораториясында
The laboratories of the Phytochemistry Research and Production Center have developed 72 original medicines derived from Kazakhstan's native plants. These medicines have been registered in a number of countries. To be more specific, we hold patents in 11 countries. As you can see, we have patents from the United States, Europe, China, and Germany. One of our medicines, Arglabin, has been registered as an original pharmaceutical product in 6 countries, and we are currently supplying it to the Russian Federation. Here you can also see its official registration certificate used by the Ministry of Health. In addition, the medicine has been registered in Georgia, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan. These medicines were developed from plants found in Kazakhstan, including Artemisia species collected in the Karkarali area and Turkestan and Almaty regions. Today they are produced by Kazakhstan's pharmaceutical industry and supplied to hospitals and pharmacies.
Өндірісте шығарылып, ауруханаларға, дәріханаларға беріліп жатыр.
Smooth wormwood from the Karkarali area, together with medicinal plants from Turkestan and Almaty regions, provides raw materials for Kazakhstan's pharmaceutical industry. Products developed by the laboratory are now available as tablets, gels, creams, sprays, and medicated soaps, some made with wormwood essential oils. One of its best-known products is Arglabin, a drug derived from smooth wormwood, or Artemisia glabella. Following preclinical and clinical trials, it was approved for use in Kazakhstan and has reportedly been used in the treatment of nearly 4,000 cancer patients. The growing international profile of Kazakhstan's pharmaceutical industry has also helped attract foreign investment, creating new opportunities to expand production and support further development.
В Казахстане произрастает более 50 видов полыни. Многие из них имеют ресурсное, лекарственное значение, заготавливаются. В том числе для косметологии, для парфюмерии.
More than 50 species of Artemisia grow in Kazakhstan. Many are valuable natural resources known for their medicinal properties. They are harvested for use in cosmetics, perfumery, and other industries. Some species are also important forage plants. Across Kazakhstan's vast steppes, livestock graze on pastures where wormwood grows naturally. One particularly important species is Artemisia sina. In Kazakhstan, it is found only in Turkestan region. It was once cultivated as a medicinal plant to meet strong demand in Western Europe for santonin, a compound used to treat parasitic infections. Artemisia sina even appeared on an earlier coat of arms of Shymkent, reflecting its historical importance to the region. Because wormwood is an important medicinal resource, our laboratory studies its distribution and assesses its natural stocks. We determine sustainable annual harvest limits to ensure that these resources are used responsibly and that wild plant communities can recover and regenerate. At the same time, wormwood remains an important source of forage for livestock, particularly in autumn and winter.
Всего растительных сообществ. Ну и в том числе имеет кормовое значение. Выпас скота производится круглогодично.
The therapeutic potential of Artemisia remains underexplored. Many species found across Kazakhstan's vast steppes require systematic study to identify their bioactive compounds and assess their potential medicinal applications. Such research could deepen our understanding of this remarkable natural resource and help determine how it might contribute to human health. This is a remarkable plant and one of our most valuable natural resources. Yet, much of its therapeutic potential remains unknown because it has not been studied sufficiently. Our research is beginning to reveal its value and remind us how important it is to protect nature and live in harmony with it. At present, we're studying the effects of an ethanolic wormwood extract. To develop a medicine, however, we must first identify the specific bioactive compound responsible for the observed effect. Once identified and characterized, the compound could potentially be isolated or synthesized and evaluated as a candidate for drug development. Our long-term goal is to develop a medicine from plants growing on the Kazakh steppe that could benefit people. Achieving that would be a major scientific accomplishment. Of all the plants that grow across the vast Kazakh steppe, few are as close to the Kazakh heart as wormwood. Swaying gently in the wind and carrying its distinctive fragrance across the open plains, it has a quiet power to evoke deep emotion. Its scent stirs memories, soothes homesickness, and seems to lift the spirit. It recalls childhood paths, smoke curling from the family hearth, and the cool breeze of the Kazakh steppe. In the years ahead, deeper research into this remarkable plant may reveal new therapeutic possibilities and contribute to the development of medicines that improve people's lives.